You are 25 and the key is warm in your hand. Not a normal key. A thick matte black fob with a little metal badge on it, the kind that costs more than most people's monthly rent just to replace. The salesman is smiling at you the way people smile when they've already won, and behind him the car sits under a spotlight like it's the thing you were born to touch. $62,000. You signed the papers 8 minutes ago. Your hand is still shaking a little, and you tell yourself it's excitement. It is mostly. You slide into the driver's seat and the door shuts with that sound. You know the sound. You've watched 100 videos just to hear that sound. It's not a slam, it's a seal. A soft, heavy thunk that says everything on the inside is different from everything on the outside. The leather smells like money. The dashboard glows. You put both hands on the wheel and you just sit there for a second breathing because this is the moment. This is the exact moment you promised yourself when you were 19 and broke and eating instant noodles standing up in a kitchen that wasn't yours. You made it. That's what the moment feels like. You made it. And here's the thing nobody tells you about that feeling. It's real. It's not fake. Don't let anyone lecture you that it's shallow because it isn't. The pride is earned. You worked. You closed deals. You took the shifts. You saved when your friends spent. The car is a trophy, and trophies are supposed to feel like this. So drive it off the lot. Feel every head turn on your street. Let your neighbor come out in his robe and stare. You paid for this exact reaction, and today it pays out in full. The problem isn't the car. The problem is what the car quietly signs you up for, and nobody reads that part out loud. Because a car like this doesn't come with a price. It comes with a monthly. $940 for 72 months. Say that number slowly. 6 years. When you finish paying for this car, you will be 31 years old, and the car will be a used car, and you will have handed over close to $70,000 for a machine that started dying in value the second your tires touched public asphalt. That's not a metaphor, that's the mechanics. You lost $8,000 driving it off the lot. Gone. The car is worth less at the first red light than it was in the showroom, and the light hasn't even turned green. But you don't feel that yet. At 25, you feel the wind. You take the long way home on purpose. You wash it on Sundays by hand even though there's a place down the road. You park it at the far end of every lot, nose out, angled so you can see it from the restaurant window. You are, without noticing, building your whole small world around protecting an object. And that's the first quiet trap, the one that looks like love. The car stops being something you own and becomes something you serve. Here's what the salesman knew, standing there in his creased shirt with his winning smile. He knew that the payment was designed to be just barely comfortable. Not easy, comfortable. There's a difference, and the whole system lives in that difference. Easy means you'd pay it off fast and buy another one. Comfortable means it sits on your shoulders for 6 years, light enough that you never revolt, heavy enough that you never get ahead. The finance guy has a name for people like you at 25. He calls you a good customer. What he means is, someone who trades the future for the feeling and does it with a smile and thanks him on the way out. You don't know any of that on day one. On day one you post the photo. 42 people like it in an hour. Your cousin comments a fire emoji. A girl you haven't talked to since school suddenly does. And this is the part that really hooks the trap deeper, because now the car isn't just a car and it isn't just a payment, it's your status. It's proof. It's the version of you that the world finally seems to respect, and respect is a drug that makes you do stupid math. So you keep it clean. You keep it new. When the check engine light flickers at month 14, you don't just fix it, you rush it in, because you cannot stand the idea of this thing being anything less than perfect. The dealership service department charges you $400 to plug in a laptop and tell you it's fine. You pay it. You pay it the way you'd pay to keep a secret. And somewhere in year 2, on an ordinary Tuesday, you're sitting at that same red light where the value dropped, and a thought floats up that you push right back down. A small, cold thought. You do the quick math on what you've paid so far and what you have left, and for just 1 second the wind doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like a leash you bought yourself, and thank the man for handing you. You push the thought down because at 26 you still have answers for it. The car makes you money, you tell yourself. You show up to meetings and people take you seriously. You pull into the client's lot and you watch them clock the badge before they clock your face. Maybe that's true. Maybe it bought you a little credibility. But here's the insider math nobody runs at the red light. Even if the car opened one or two doors, it never opened $70,000 worth of doors. That's the lie you tell to justify the leash. You dress the one up as an investment because investment is a word grown-ups are allowed to spend on. Then life does what life does. At 27, your rent goes up $400 a month because everyone's did. At 28, your company restructures and your bonus, the one you were quietly counting the car payment against, just doesn't come. And now the 940 is still there, exactly the same, unmoved, indifferent. It doesn't care that the wind stopped feeling like freedom. It shows up on the same day every month with the same appetite. You start doing something you swore you'd never do. You start looking at the payment as the thing you have to survive, not the thing you enjoy. This is where the car quietly changes shape again. Watch it. At 25, it was a trophy. At 26, it was a status. Now, at 28, it becomes a room you can't leave. Every real decision you want to make, quit the job that's grinding you down. Take the lower-paying gig that actually lights you up. Move cities. Start the thing you keep sketching in the notes app at midnight. Every one of those decisions hits the same wall. The wall is $940 a month, and you built it yourself, and you painted it a beautiful matte black. You stop washing it on Sundays. You take it to the automatic place now, the cheap one, and you don't even watch. The check engine light comes on again at month 50, and this time you just drive with it glowing at you like a small accusation, because $400 is groceries now. The leather still smells like leather. It just doesn't smell like victory anymore. It smells like a Tuesday. And here's the truth that took you 5 years and thousands of dollars to earn, so take it for free. The car was never the mistake. The mistake was letting a feeling sign a 6-year contract. The feeling lasted about 4 months. The contract lasted 72. Nobody tells you that the high of a big purchase has a half-life, that it decays faster than the resale value, and that the payment always outlives the thrill. That gap between how long the joy lasts and how long the bill lasts, that gap is exactly where the whole industry makes its money. They're not selling you a car. They're selling you the 4 months and quietly charging you for the 68. You are 30 now. You finally sell it. You sell it in a parking lot to a guy who does the walk around, kicks the tires, and offers you thousands less than you owe. You have to bring a check to your own car sale. You pay money to get rid of the thing you paid money to keep. And as he drives it off, you feel something you did not expect. Not grief, not even embarrassment. You feel light. You go home and you do the new math, the honest one this time. If you bought a solid, boring 4-year-old car for $18,000 at 25 and invested the difference between his payment and yours every month for those years, you'd be sitting on something close to a down payment on a house. That's not a fantasy. That's just the same money pointed somewhere that grows instead of somewhere that shrinks. The car went down every single day you owned it. The other version of you went up. But don't hear this as a sermon about being cheap. That's not it. The lesson isn't never want nice things. Wanting is human and you earn the wanting. The lesson is smaller and harder. Know exactly what you're trading and for how long before the feeling signs for you. A trophy you can afford in cash is a trophy. A trophy that owns 6 years of your future is a landlord. So picture it again. You are 25 and the key is warm in your hand, thick and matte black, and the salesman is smiling the way people smile when they've already won. Because he has. He knows the wind you're about to feel, and he knows the exact date it stops. The moment is real. The pride is earned. Nobody can take that from you. Just know what you're holding. It isn't only a key. It's a decision about who you get to be for the next 6 years and whether the person driving off the lot today is building the person who has to make the payments or quietly selling him out for a photo that gets 42 likes and 1 fire emoji. Feel the wind. Just don't mistake it for freedom until you've read the part they never say out loud.